Hey, welcome to World Code Updates. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. Manila, Philippines. The atmosphere is electric. Flanked by the flags of Israel and Russia, the Philippine president addresses the world. It's November 28, 2025, and diplomatic tension is high. But here, something different is unfolding. The president speaks not of conflict, but of connection. He recalls a century-old legacy, stories of refugees who found sanctuary on these shores. This isn't just a press conference. It's a reminder of a forgotten history. The Philippines, a nation shaped by its own struggles, has opened its doors to those fleeing persecution and war. These acts of kindness became the foundation of relationships with Israel and Russia. Today, we uncover these untold stories. How the Philippines became a sanctuary for white Russians escaping the Bolshevik Revolution, and for Jewish families fleeing the Holocaust. These weren't grand political maneuvers, but simple acts of human decency with profound consequences. They created a debt of gratitude that endures through generations. This history shapes the diplomatic, economic, and cultural ties that bind these three nations today. The world may be puzzled by this unity, but for those who know the history, it makes perfect sense. This isn't about choosing sides in a global conflict. It's about honoring a legacy that proves compassion can be a powerful diplomatic tool. The smallest acts of kindness can echo through history, shaping the destinies of nations. Join us as we explore how the Philippines became a crucial friend to both Israel and Russia. One act of humanity at a time. This is a story the world needs to hear now, more than ever. Let's begin. Long before it was policy, the Filipino spirit of welcome was a way of life. Pakikipagkapwa-tao, seeing oneself in others, meant treating everyone with dignity and empathy. This cultural foundation made the Philippines uniquely receptive to those in need. While other nations closed their borders, the Philippines looked at the human cost. President Manuel L. Quezon championed this open-door policy in the 1930s, offering hope to Jewish refugees fleeing Nazi Germany. His words set a precedent. The Philippines would be a sanctuary for the oppressed. Having endured colonization and hardship, Filipinos understood displacement and the longing for safety. When Russian nobles and Jewish families arrived, they were seen as fellow human beings, not just foreigners. This empathy drove extraordinary humanitarian efforts, from white Russians to Vietnamese boat people. Even in times of poverty and internal struggle, the commitment to humanity outweighed challenges. This enduring legacy explains the deep friendships the Philippines forged with Russia and Israel. Hospitality wasn't just a policy, it was the nation's identity. And it still is. After the Russian Revolution, thousands of white Russians fled persecution. Many ended up in Shanghai, but as danger grew, they needed a new refuge. In 1949, President Elpidio Quirino offered asylum to over 5,000 Russian refugees, bringing them to Tubabao Island in the Philippines. Despite its own post-war struggles, the Philippines acted out of pure compassion. On Tubabao, refugees built a vibrant community, an Orthodox church, a school, a theater, while living in tents. The local Filipino community welcomed them, sharing resources and friendship. For 2 years, Tubabao was the world's largest Russian refugee settlement. This sanctuary allowed them to preserve their culture and lives until resettlement in the US and Australia. The story of Tubabao became a wellspring of goodwill toward the Philippines. When diplomatic relations with Russia were later established, this history was a powerful foundation. The bond was about more than politics, it was about shared humanity. The memory of Tubabao endures, a testament to Filipino compassion, and the gratitude of the Russian people remains. As Hitler's shadow spread across Europe, Jewish families desperately sought escape. The world mostly turned its back, except for a few, including the Philippines. President Quezon, with U.S. High Commissioner Paul McNutt and the Frieder brothers, devised a plan to bring Jewish refugees from Germany and Austria. Quezon aimed to welcome up to 10,000, offering a new life in Mindanao. Despite opposition, he issued visas, bypassing restrictive U.S. laws. Between 1937 and 1941, about 1,300 Jewish refugees, Manilaners, arrived in the Philippines. They found safety, housing, jobs, and freedom to practice their faith. A community center and synagogue were established. The grand plan was cut short by World War II, but the lives saved were a victory for compassion. For these refugees, Manila was salvation. The descendants of the Manilaners have never forgotten the country that gave them a second chance. This act of kindness became a cornerstone of Philippine-Israeli relations. When Israel looks at the Philippines, it sees a nation that stood up for the Jewish people when few others would. This shared history created an unbreakable bond, and it still shapes their friendship today. In 1947, the United Nations faced a historic decision, the partition of Palestine, paving the way for Israel's creation. The vote was close, with immense pressure on the Philippines to abstain or vote no. President Manuel Roxas remembered the nation's promise of sanctuary to Jewish refugees. He saw the vote as a moral issue, not just a political one. In a dramatic moment, the Philippines voted yes, becoming the only Asian nation to support UN Resolution 181. This pivotal vote helped secure Israel's birth in 1948. The Filipino vote was seen as a courageous act of friendship. It solidified the bond begun with the rescue of the Manilayners. This moment is celebrated in Israel as an example of true friendship. The Philippines' support was not just shelter, but an active commitment to Jewish self-determination. This decision cemented the Philippines as a key ally in Asia. The alliance has remained strong for over 75 years. A single vote changed history and forged a lasting partnership. The acts of kindness, sheltering white Russians and Jewish refugees, were seeds that grew into deep-rooted friendships. For Russia, the Tubabao story created a human connection that transcended Cold War divides. When diplomatic ties were established in 1976, this shared history provided a positive starting point. Cultural exchanges flourished, with Russian ballet in Manila and Filipino artists in Moscow. For Israel, the friendship blossomed even more. After the 1947 UN vote, Israel shared agricultural expertise, helping Filipino farmers. Israeli tourists visit the Philippines, drawn by a sense of friendship. Tens of thousands of Filipinos now work in Israel, especially as caregivers, respected for their compassion. This labor connection is a modern expression of trust and mutual respect. The seeds of kindness have yielded a rich harvest, cultural, economic, and personal. These friendships are not just diplomatic, they're lived every day. The legacy of compassion continues to grow, and it benefits all three nations. History lives not just in books but in monuments. In Israel, the Open Doors Monument honors the Philippines' rescue of Jewish refugees. Its three doors symbolize the nation's open-hearted policy during the Holocaust. In the Philippines, plans are underway to commemorate the Tubabao refugee camp. These monuments are more than historical markers, they're active diplomatic tools. When leaders visit, these stories are at the center of conversation. They reinforce that these relationships are built on shared values, not just transactions. For descendants of refugees, these sites are places of gratitude and remembrance. For Filipinos, they're a source of pride and inspiration. These symbols ensure the memory of kindness remains alive, and they inspire future acts of humanity. The goodwill between the Philippines, Israel, and Russia has evolved into dynamic partnerships. Humanitarian acts open doors for cooperation in trade, technology, and talent. With Israel, the Philippines benefits from agricultural innovation and cybersecurity expertise. Filipino workers are valued in Israel, especially as caregivers. With Russia, cooperation grows in energy, industry, and education. Russian scholarships attract Filipino students in science and medicine. The historical friendship makes investment and trade easier. These person-to-person connections renew the bonds of friendship daily. The alliance is not just about history, it's about building a better future together. Compassion has proven to be good for growth and development, and the story continues. As the world grows more divided, the story of the Philippines, Israel, and Russia offers a powerful lesson. Compassion is not weakness, it's strength. The Philippines' legacy shows that a nation's character is defined by how it treats the vulnerable. Leaders like Quezon and Quirino chose moral courage over indifference. Their actions remind us that leadership is about upholding values. The Filipino example proves that the rewards of compassion, friendship, trust, respect far outweigh the risks. The foundation of trust built over generations can support even greater collaboration on global challenges. The Philippines, by honoring its past, can continue to be a peacemaker and humanitarian leader. This is its unique form of diplomacy. The story of these three nations is a story of hope. It shows that a single act of kindness can change history, and that humanity is the world's most valuable currency.